The opportunities are as big as the sky.
The best piece of advice that I ever received is that you are what you think about. Everything that you think about, you become. You become what you think about. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to behaviors. Behaviors leads to lifestyle. Lifestyle determines your destiny. So everything begins in the mind. If you can control and wield your mind, you can very much determine your destiny. If you can determine that regardless of what your mind says, you will go to the gym, you will develop a physique unlike 99% of society. If you decide to work on your business and you decide and you commit and you determine your mindset and you wield it, you can become successful. If you determine to be a studious individual and knowledgeable, you will be knowledgeable. If you determine to be rich, you'll be rich. Everything is.
I remember we were playing against the Lakers, Tom, and we were out here in LA. And, look, I always try to outwork people, right? That's just how I made my mark. So the game was at 7. I was like, you know what? I'm going to come to the Staples Center because we're playing. This is when the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq. Right. Okay, this is like the championship Lakers. I was like, I'm going to get there at 3 o'clock, and I want to make sure I make 400 made shots before I go back into the room, and then I sit in the sauna and I get ready for the game. So, get in the car, get to the gym, get there, and as I'm walking onto the court, who do I see? I see Kobe Bryant, already working out. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. It's Kobe. What's up, Kobe? And so I put my sneakers on. And do you ever get lost in what you do, where you end up like, wait, it's been an hour and a half. Like I'm here. I'm in it. So once I set my foot across that line, I started working out. And so I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off after I was done, I sat down, and of course I still hear the ball bouncing. I look down, I'm like, this guy's still working out? He was working out for it looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here. Right. And he's still going. And it's not like his moves are nonchalant or lazy. He's doing like game moves, right. I sit there and I unlace my shoes. I'm like, I want to see how long this goes. So I sit out there and watch another 25 minutes. And he got done. I was like, okay, I think I've seen enough. Go play, come back, get in the sauna, get ready for the game. That game, he drops 40 on us. Whoa. Okay? And after the game is over, I'm like, I have to ask this guy. I have to understand, why he works like that. Right. So after the game is over, I'm like, hey, Kobe, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. and I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.
Wow.
Lion is the king of the jungle. How can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality. That's the only difference of a lion and an elephant. When a lion walks up and sees an elephant, he thinks lunch. An elephant thinks run. And it's all mentality. Because when a male lion walks up, he may be outnumbered by a pack of hyenas, but I'm king of my jungle because of my mentality.
That's me. It's only me. You described yourself on the pitch as believing you were a lion. Is that right?
I am a lion. Yeah. Lions, they don't compare themselves with humans.
Who's the best player in the world ever?
For me, the best player in the world ever, Diego Maradona.
Theo.
Me.
I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Thunder Liston. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Right. Then you might get me.
If I can instill one piece of advice into all human beings, it would simply be to believe in yourself beyond, without a doubt. Believe in yourself, and don't rely on anybody to believe in you. Don't rely on anybody to push you or make you better. Believe in yourself and only yourself. and allow that human being to make you a better person.
Why did you believe that you could pull off this upset? You know, if you don't believe in yourself, what you do, you never achieve. You achieve the nothing. I believe. My team believe me. And you all should believe in yourself.
Let's face it, it's you against you out there. When you walk on that court, you have to think, I am the best
ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Beliefs become self-fulfilling. See, once you believe something, you don't see anything else. I've done this with your audience before. I said, look around the room and find brown. Everybody looks around. And I say, now with your eyes closed, tell me if you saw that was red. And nobody sees much red. And I say, open your eyes, look for red. And they find more red. Why do you find more red? Because you get what you look for. Your beliefs condition you to find. And then I say, how many saw, I said, you even saw things that weren't there. How many saw beige stuff, called it brown just to feel successful? They all laugh. You know? How many saw burgundy and called it red? They all laugh. And the reason is because once we're after something, we'll even make the color different to feel successful. If you think somebody's mean, you'll find meanness in them if it's not there. If you think somebody's your dear friend and they do something terrible, you'll say, oh, they're having a bad day. So our beliefs control us. So unquestioned beliefs that produce stress, those are the ones you've got to question.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. You have two hands. I mean, everything is possible. Go. Go. And take it whatever we want.
Like, it don't matter how it might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work.
Delusional.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion. Because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional? I'm gonna call it delusion until it don't work for nobody else to see, but for the whole world to see. And then once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now your delusion becomes, oh, he was a genius.
People think you're too obsessed. You're a weirdo. Stop only making videos. Like, get a life. Be realistic. People will convince you you're out of your mind for wanting to do this. But then once you're successful, they're like, yo, your drive, your tenacity was great. But it's like, yeah, well, where was that back then? You know what I mean? I didn't get that when I was a small channel. And so I think you're crazy until you're successful, and then you're a genius.
Delusion is only delusional when you don't accomplish the goal of making your delusion the reality.
Right.
That's when it's delusional.
Right. You're just enforcing your mindset.
Oh, yeah, to allow those delusions to be the reality of your assessment.
I am a strong believer that we quit. Because why? How the a 297-pound cockroach guy who quit on everything is now considered one of the baddest men on the planet? Mm-hmm. How is that possible? It means I had to change one thing, my mindset. So there's no way in hell that was in, but that guy was in me. Mm-hmm. One that guy came down here and said, hey, guess what, man? You're a fat ass, but I'm gonna now make you a badass. I'm gonna miracle this to be a badass. No, it was in me. I had to believe to make that belief work.
So let me ask a question. What kind of seed is in you? See, I believe part of our responsibility in life is to find out who we are. And I believe you were intentionally created for a myriad of purposes. There are many things we can do with our lives. And I think it's our job to find out what those things are and to do them as well as we possibly can.
You only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams.
I'm asking you to make a list of what you want. What kind of health do you want? What kind of skills do you want? Herbalife has got the ability to make it all come true, but you've got to decide, what do you want?
Discipline your thoughts. Stop thinking too much. Don't go into the past. Don't go into the future. Be in the present. Why? Because only then it's possible that the mind is free, the capacity is free, and now you can completely immerse into whatever you are doing. And this means you have arrived.
Be like that.
The only thing that's holding you back is you're worried about what other people have to say. You give up on that and you're clean and you can go.
And then start to use this lifetime because it's your lifetime. This one, only one time. So stop listening too much to other people, how to live your life or whatever. It's about the self-expression of your own perspective about how you would like
to question.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. You have two hands. I mean, everything is possible. Go. And take it whatever you want.
Now you found, okay, I found my purpose. What are my goals now?
Dreams without goals are just dreams.
Specify your damn goals, because how are you going to hit something if you don't know what it is? That isn't going to happen.
This means that you sit down with a pad of paper, a pen, and ample time to think. You think through and then make a written list of all the things that you want to accomplish in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. You organize the list into the various areas of your life, your career, your money, your family, your health, and the other parts that are important to you. Interestingly enough, if you can be clear about your goals and write them down, there's nothing that can stop you from achieving them.
Okay, so once you get your goal structure set up, you think, okay, if I could have this life, it looks like that might be worth living, despite the fact that it's going to be, you know, anxiety provoking and threatening, and there's going to be some suffering and loss involved in all of that. Obviously, the goal is to have a vision for your life such that, all things considered, that justifies your effort.
Now you have in order, plans, goals, destinies, journeys. Shut your phone off, shut the TVs off, shut the world off, and tune into you.
I think this is the way. Slowly, steadily, wholeheartedly.
Find a dark, quiet place for you to think. You have to think first. And then when you think, you have to think, okay, what's my purpose in life? From your purpose, now you found, okay, I found my purpose. What are my goals now? Okay, you find your goals. Now you got to sit down and plan. Plan, how am I going to accomplish these goals? Then from there, the hardest part is you have to put the action.
I don't care about what the people say. Even when you do it good, they criticize you. And criticize is part of your journey. You think I'm going to change now? Our Christian self is always, I'm going to change now. You think with nearly 40 years old, I'm going to change? Of course not. Oh, you like me or you don't like me. It's part of the life. For me, it's not a problem. You have to be yourself. Doesn't matter if the people like or not.
You care about the ones who hate Cristiano Ronaldo?
I care the people who like me. I'm not waste time for the people who don't like me. I think it's waste of time. If you do it good or if you do bad, they're always going to find some criticize. Even in the national team, the last 3 months, as I told you before, the criticism was so bad. Excuses. I see as excuses. You listen from one side and they go away from another side. So, but
practicing positive thinking, it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to be positive today and wake up tomorrow and just immediately be like, oh my God, I'm so positive. But when you're really consistent with it, when you practice it all the time, you can actually change your mindset. You can actually change the structure of.
We must believe it so much so that we're arrogant about it. We must be pissed off for excellence. Because last night I was moved to tears. That can happen.
A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I started to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if?
I just so happen to be a friendly guy. I get along with everybody, but at the same time, when the light comes on, I'm as competitive as anybody you know.
I thrive on that. I think that's my biggest motivation in life, is to compete, find different competitions in certain things in life and try to overcome that, be it positive or negative. But I have yet to meet someone who is as competitive as me, and I just feel that much confident about my competitive drive. If I feel that I've lost my step and other players who I used to dominate starts to pass me and dominate me, it's time for me to leave the game because psychologically I can't accept it.
There's no I in team. I say Texas not. It's not an I in team, but it's I in win. I think he got my message. I'd do anything to win. If that means we play team format, we win. If that means I have to do whatever I have to do, we're going to win, no matter how you look at it. My mentality was to win at all costs, and pull, push, yank, whatever to get everybody on the same page. I was such a competitive player, and each and every day felt the need to always get ahead of my opponent. There's times when you have to push yourself a little bit, and you want to see that frustration, you want to see a little bit of anger. You want that dominance to be shown. You want that intimidation to be shown in competition. Sometimes you have to push, pull, or do whatever you need to get over that hill. But unfortunately, everybody don't have that same mentality.
No, it was not. It was steps to it.
Failures, it doesn't exist. It's not existent. What the hell does that mean? Seriously, what does failure mean? It doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. What does it mean?
You're pulling a Jedi mind trick on me right now. I was like, does it exist?
No, I'm serious. I'm trying to think, how can I explain it? So, let's use happy endings, right? And then we can relate this to failure and why it's not existent. Everybody talks about, everybody wants a happy ending, right? Now let's go to the reality of it, right? Let's look at a fairy tale story. Let's look at Snow White. Mm-hmm. She gets a happy ending. She finds Prince, whatever, she goes on. She lives happily ever after. Well, I call bullshit on that because 2 months later, the fact is they had an argument and he's sleeping on the couch, right? So the point is, the story continues. Mm-hmm. The story continues. So if you fail on Monday, the only way it's a failure on Monday is if you decide to not progress from that, right? So to me, that's why failure is not existent. Because, if I fail today, okay, I'm going to learn something from that failure and I'm going to try.
You have to make up your mind that you are in it for the long haul. You're not going to let people talk you out of it. Circumstances discourage you. Delays cause you to give up. Critical people cause you to get distracted. You're going to stay focused.
There is the discipline inside this body. There is a loyal person standing.
Well, it's that time of year again. We start to feel real happy. Why? Because we're not going to work. If you believe in Santa Claus and you celebrate Christmas, you're looking forward to Santa Claus coming down the chimney, giving you some presents. It's a real good time of year. So in that good time of year, we start to feel real good about ourselves. So I start to feel great. So we start making promises to ourselves about, hey, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to do better in school. I'm going to be better here, be better there. But guess what happens? The real Merry Christmas happens when all of that noise is gone. It's quiet. And it's you against you. And now all those endorphins are gone. And I promise you made about getting up early and getting after it to go lose weight, study harder. Guess what? It's a lot harder now.
You guys see fresh and easy, man? Yeah, man. Life isn't always so fresh or so easy. But what's inside of there? A lot of groceries and stuff you buy, right? You got the milk, you got the, your fruits and vegetables and stuff. And all that stuff, man, very perishable. What does that mean? I mean, when you buy it, you better eat that motherfucker, otherwise it goes bad. There's a shelf life to it, a time trial. Use it or lose it. And if you don't use it, then your investment in that product, you don't quite reap all the reward of that. So that's a little metaphor, I think, in life. Because life itself is perishable. We're going to die, right? Eventually we're going to die. But our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable forever. But it's got to be built right. And we got to take advantage of the time we have right now. If you want it bad enough, you find a way. If you don't want it bad enough, you find.
Now, all the decisions I made, other people may view to be not the right decisions from their perspective. That's what they think. People don't see that, and people will never understand that.
I've learned how to be myself 100% of the time. Either you accept that or you don't. And I want you to. I want to be positive, but if you don't want to accept me for that way, then I got to live my life.
I had to stop giving a about people. That was the biggest thing. I had to stop caring what people thought about me. I realized that everybody's up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're going to judge me and I'm going to feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their up world better than you have. That's all they've done. So once I realized that, if you want to sit back, like for instance, there's all these things that are on TV and we have all these news people judging people who up in life. And yeah, they made big mistakes. But that person who is judging you on TV, I guarantee you that news person is saying, I'm glad that my didn't come out, but I'm going to judge the hell out of you. I know that about people. So if you want to sit back and judge how jacked up I was and how messed up my life was, Merry Christmas, go for it. Have a good time. But I'm smiling at you right now, knowing you have a secret that you're not willing to share. It gives you a lot of power when you're able to go on a podcast this big and say, hey, tell me, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I no longer care. And that is a lot of power in that, to be able to put your life on a billboard for the whole world to see and say, judge it, man. When you are willing to talk about how jacked up you are, the strength, that big rock that you carry, it just starts to come off you. It just starts to come off. That's why I do it so often. I'm like, hey, man, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
It's not a bad thing to be unique. It's not a bad thing to be different. It's not a bad thing to be comfortable with yourself, regardless of what everybody else around you is doing.
Subscribe to the channel.